This is day 181 of heroic resistance of Ukraine in their fight for freedom. My name is Natalia, and we continue the series of briefings of Mediacenter. Only 95 POWs came back from Azov Regiment, and a few hundred stay in captivity. We can't keep silent, and we need the world to know the dire truth. Today we have family members, mothers of POWs from Azov Regiment. Welcome. Please introduce yourselves and tell us when and what you heard last from your sons. My name is Dana. I'm the mother of POW. His name is Svetoslav. He is now in captivity. He was in Mariupol, in Azov Hill. That was the 5th of May when I last heard from him. He was wounded and he was in the bunker hospital in Azov still. After the 5th of May, because of bombardment and because of the fights, the Starlink was removed from their facility and was used for the needs of those military who were still in active fight. After that, I never heard from him. Who knows about the state of your sons? I can speak on behalf of everybody. We are all in equal situation. We don't know anything about them. We know that if they were not wounded, they had a brain injury, and almost all of them were injured, and they needed medical assistance. They needed serious medical assistance. We understand that they were not given any care, and we can only imagine what they are suffering from now. Do you know where they are right now? We don't. They say that it could be Olenivka, it could be Donetsk, it could be temporary occupied territory of Donetsk. But these are just rumors. This information we know from the news, but we don't know the exact whereabouts of our children. And this trial that they have announced, I think that the whole world is speechless. I want to be heard. I want other people to hear me. How can you try official regiment of the legal state, of the National Guard of Ukraine? How can they try people for doing what they did legitimately? They just followed the order of the Supreme Commander. Because this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy that we are going through and the whole world is going through. We also expect official position regarding our children from the Parliament of Ukraine. We are still expecting it, and we want to hear from Verkhovna Rada. Alla, Iryna, did you approach any international organizations, anybody from Ukrainian government, so that they pay attention and they do something to help your children? My name is Iryna. I'm the mother of the serviceman who is now in captivity. The moment they were taken POWs, we started knocking on the doors of all international organizations, Red Cross, UN, our diplomats, world leaders, so that they help free our children, our POWs. Did they respond? Are you happy with their response? No response. So far, we family members did not get any response following our queries, and I believe that we need to knock louder. We need to speak up. We need to raise our voice. We need to shout out loudly so that the world hears us, because this is the 21st century and this is the violation of human rights, and the world needs to know about that. If you have questions, please raise your hand and you will have a chance to ask the question. do you have a possibility to contact with the families of POWs from other cities? Yes, we do stay in touch with families of POWs. There is a union of Azov Regiment families. I am a mother of Mariupol garrison fighter, soldier. He was defending Mariupol. He was in Azov Regiment. Unfortunately, we don't know where our children are right now and what is their condition, including physical condition. We are all in equal situation. We don't have any information. We have no connection with them. The only information we knew and the only connection we had, so when they were still in Azov steel facility, we were corresponding with them. After they left Azov steel, I didn't get any information from my son, and I believe other mothers are in similar situation. There are mothers who don't know even if their children are alive. Nothing. There is no international response. If there is some, it's not sufficient, it's weak. I want to shout out loudly. I want to scream because this is genocide. This is the crime against our POWs. They are POWs who have to be protected according to Geneva Convention. We know that their rights were violated after the terroristic attack in Olenivka. We know that our children are killed, they are tortured. There was the interview with those Azov Regiment members whom were rescued from the captivity. We know that they are preparing the trial now, and it's shameful because I believe that the outcomes will be even worse than the terroristic attack in Olenivka. Russia is a terrorist country because they don't care about the life of our children, our POWs, even the life of their children. They violate all possible human norms. We can't even call them human beings. We can't call them people. I believe that they are going to torture our children just to brag how cool they are. But what they do, they commit crimes that do not classify only as genocide, but as the genocide of our Ukrainian POWs and Ukrainian people. What organizations did you approach and did you get any response? We approached everybody. The president of Turkey, Mr. Guterres, President Zelensky. We approached members of parliament, many of them, people who are influencers, anybody who could help. They support us verbally. Jamala, famous Ukrainian singer, she supported us. She had this poster in her hands and she showed her position. But you have to understand that there are 2,500 people who are in captivity. Some of them are women, some are pregnant, some are police officers, border patrol officers, National Guard officers. So they are all our Ukrainian servicemen. They need our help. They need to be rescued and they need to be saved and let free. Red Cross, did they provide any help? Do you know anything? All we know is that they just confirmed that our sons are POWs. So they confirmed basically their status of POW, but we don't know anything about their health condition, whether they are alive. I don't know anything about my child. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. What is your reaction to what's happening? What you personally do to let the world know and attract attention? We organize protest events, rallies in Ukraine and worldwide. This week we expect a series of rallies in Europe by our Ukrainian communities. These people are trying to attract attention of the world leaders and public opinion leaders so that they understand that this is violation of human rights. A few weeks ago, we had the meeting with the representatives of Ukrainian government and those institutions that are now dealing with the situation of POWs. Partially, we got answers to our questions. Please use microphone. Could you ask your question again? The question was about the reaction. There was no reaction. There was only statement by Mr. Guterres that the mission is set up to investigate the crime in Olenivka. We are not only interested in investigating this crime in Olenivka that happened on the 29th of July, but we also need to know about those who are alive, because we don't know where they are, in what condition they are. We know that investigative measures are now done against our family members, our children. We know that they are tortured. We know that they are starving. We know that physically they are tortured. And therefore, we call to humanitarian organizations, Red Cross, United Nations. So their role is to protect people, and they need to do so. Therefore, we are asking the whole world to help. When you talk to your sons last, what did they say you? That was on the 18th of May, and the last words that he said is, keep talking about us. Speak out loudly to the whole world, because all of them were wounded. My son was wounded, I know that. Dear ladies, do you feel any threat towards yourself or your families? Given what my son has been through and what he is through, I feel no danger or no threat. We all became different people after the 24th of February, and the families of those children, those servicemen who are in the front line, so they became different. I have no fear. If my son has been through what is unbelievable, I have no fear. I am with him. I am going through this marathon. We haven't met yet. We are miles apart. Maybe somebody feels fear or threat or danger, but I don't. We have to be strong. It hurts. You can't imagine how much it hurts, but we are strong. We became very strong, and we are going to fight for our children until the last moment. We don't feel any threat and no fear. If there is anything else you want to say, anything you want people to know, using this opportunity, I'd like to talk to the world organizations and world leaders and remind them that the main principles of international law, this is the human rights, respect for human rights, and we approach international organizations, Red Cross, United Nations, the Supreme Commissar, who have to stop this trial of Ukrainian servicemen and who have to prevent anything possible happening in the future. We also ask monitoring mission of the United Nations in Ukraine to respond to the facts of violating human rights by Russia. in respect of the murder of Ukrainian servicemen in Olenivka and the preparation of the trial of the special regiment Azov that belonged to the National Guards of Ukraine in Mariupol and other cities. We want the Russian Federation to allow access to the Red Cross and the United Nations organizations to the camp where our children are in captivity and check the conditions. Should there be the trial of our children, the monitoring mission of the United Nations has to monitor this trial and keep informing the Council of the United Nations on Human Rights. Thank you very much. Let me just remind you that our guests today were Iryna, Alla, and Dana, the mothers of POWs from Azov Regiment. Thank you very much. This is all we have for you for today. Please stay with us and stay